ready, guys?
Yeah, man, here we go. Season 2. Oof.
Not right in there.
Jeez.
Is there anything on there?
There are very few examples of long-term relationships between queer people of colour. Why don't queer relationships last?
They move too fast.
You think that's it?
One of the reasons anyway.
I feel like there's not many examples in the public eye about queer relationships. I feel it's more like you may see a white couple long term, but I feel, did you get what I'm saying, guys?
No.
If there was more examples of like out in the public, in the media, long term couples that are queer, that are black, then maybe we'll stick together longer.
I feel
don't know.
like, no, I'm not gonna lie to you. I feel like the way it's perceived is just all kinds of wrong. Like, for example, if you look at, like, for example, if you see like web series on TV and stuff, I won't name like the web series, but they're all the same. In the relationship, they're all women beaters, cheaters, drug dealers. No one's actually got a real job, and this goes across the board. And so this is kind of what people perceive as what a queer relationship is like, when in reality it's not. But what it's really like is never shown.
I think we just need to be a bit careful straight away, like right off the bat. Saying that gay, lesbian, queer relationships don't last. It's like I'm not
Straight
really too
relationships
sure.
don't work either.
Yeah, so maybe we need to just like, if we're going to talk about the issues that they have within like LGBT relationship, that's cool. But I just think that obviously, like when we look at news and stuff like that, we're going to look at the negative stuff. So any kind of breakup, that's the thing that we're going to look at. Whereas the people that are really having their longevity in their relationships, they're just minding their own business, sitting in the corner, not going to no raves, they're not on any social media, so no one sees them. But it doesn't mean that it's not happening nor working. So if it's talking about why is it not working, it's because, I don't know, like, especially with guys, they just act stupid, man. It's that dumb.
No, I still think, specifically like lesbian relationship, they move way too fast.
It's the intensity that you have.
It's too intense.
Right. But having to go back to the question to say, why doesn't it last? I don't know. The kind of people that I've seen some long lasting queer relationships. So for me personally, I think it's what you look at, and I think it's the circle you move in. Like if you move with a bunch of people that do a certain type of things, that's what you're going to see. So for me, I do see couples out there doing this. I mean, I travel the world and I see queer couples working. So,
but do you guys know any? Do you
know, I'm gonna say I think the scene again is too small. And for a lot of people, kind of break up probably because of external issues, because of exes and there's a disrespectfulness.
I know, people have exes all the time.
Yeah. Listen, the scene is so small. Everyone is dating everyone. Do you understand? Especially in the London scene.
Does that mean why they shouldn't? Sorry, does that mean why they shouldn't like last though?
No, but people can get involved in people's relationships. That's what I think. Sometimes it could be.
But you allow somebody to get involved, no?
Well, I think this comes down to a lot of like personal stuff. I think there's a lot of unresolved issues within the LGBT community. I think there's a lot of like underlying stuff that people don't deal with,
like
and
what?
then I don't know, like there's a lot of like struggling to accept themselves. A lot of like the issue between, am I masculine, do I need to be this, the expectations of what a relationship is, and then when you're trying to kind of partner that with someone else, it's very difficult. Like when you've got those internal issues and then you're trying to make it like a union, it's quite difficult if you haven't then addressed the issues that you have as an individual, I think.
I agree with that, I agree with that, but I think a lot of times people don't find themselves and they get into relationships straight away. They just jump into a relationship before they even find themselves. They accept themselves and they, like you said, deal with their own issues. And when they jump into that relationship, they kind of pass that on to their relationship, and that's why it doesn't work out.
Alright, nosy time. What's you guys' longest relationships?
Don't ask me that.
Why not? It should be a stigma. I feel
like queer relationships are just on and off, on and off.
How about yours?
Why you haven't done Okay, honestly, it hasn't even been a year. It's been like maybe like 9 months or something.
Okay, I'm the same as you.
Alright, cool. Then we don't need to hide. You don't need to hide.
I 5 years.
3.
3.
So I trump all of you lot.
Where
That's
is
my
it?
point.
What, 8 years?
Nearly 4 years.
Okay, question.
Okay.
Okay, question to you two. Since you two have had the shortest
Yeah.
relationship, yeah.
Why?
Why?
Me.
No, that's why I didn't want to tell him it. That's what
That's why I'm the issue.
I appreciate the honesty though.
Yeah, I think mainly because like I get bored easily, which I think is just a really whack excuse in all honesty. My parents have been together since they were 16, and still are. And I think I've had this idea of a relationship, and I'm the youngest born as well. I think I've had this idea of a relationship, but the relationship that I've seen is a developed one. So then when I get into something with someone on those early days, I feel like I'm expecting it to be something that it's not. Whereas I didn't see the grassroots stages of what a relationship should be.
Yeah.
And I think that's played a massive part into just how I navigate through those early stages and why I get so frustrated, why I get annoyed, and why I end up ducking. I mean, I just end up thinking that when I'm with someone, I'm expecting things without me realizing to be slightly Hollywood, for us to have this massive spark that starts at the beginning, this finishing each other's sentences as we're doing this hiking trip that we've just loved, and everything just ends up being glamorized in my mind.
What is that? Because you have high expectations from the jump.
I think so, but it's not even so much that those expectations are what I think somebody else should be doing. I think it's just an expectation of how I thought I should feel, and if I don't feel like this amazing Hollywood feeling, then I'm just like, yeah, I think I'm done. And that's personally my issue that I need to get over, because it is a growing thing and it's something that needs to develop, which I'm learning.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Carmen.
Talk the thing.
Okay, cool. I think it's more to do with my age at the time. I just felt I was very fussy. And when things weren't going the way I wanted to, or if they wasn't what I thought they was, I would just end it. Do you understand? So I had that this not OCD, but I wanted things to go a certain way. When it doesn't, it's a luck off. We can be friends. It was this is back in the days. It was very, very petty, fussy things. So, you know, personal hygiene. If they didn't have good teeth, didn't have good hair. I thought I rushed into it as well, like what you said earlier. I can meet someone, and I think it's a lot of what lesbians do as well. We rush into things, and you're right. Yeah. We'll meet someone the first week. Oh, I'm in love. Let's be together. That's how I'm telling you. That's how it works.
Exactly.
And the thing is, like you can make yourself for a month.
It's a week thing. It's a week. In a week, you fall in love. In a week.
I get it, and it feels like.
But that's not love.
No, I
That's
can't.
not love.
That's not love.
It's infatuation. It's not the same thing.
It's lust.
But the thing is,
that's what it is.
No, but the thing is, yeah, lesbians they have sex like the first night.
What?
Most of
That's why he don't be nasty for you people.
Majority, innit?
We're giving you pointers here.
A majority.
Listen, we're giving you pointers here, yeah? Right now, just said most lesbians.
No, I'm not talking about myself. I'm not talking about myself, yeah?
Where's your
Go on.
No, but I know, look, I speak to a lot of people, innit? And I know a lot of people, yeah? And a lot of people I've spoken to, yeah? Like, we've spoken about that before. And they do have sex, like, on the first night.
I'm gonna tell you.
Or at least the first week.
So how do you think that affects
Yeah, but what's
the
got to do with
relationship?
relationships?
Yeah.
No, because you said it's lust, so I'm thinking like that kind of takes the
The
lust
lust
out of the way, in a way that kind of takes the lust out of
So
the
you
way.
think you just having sex once just gets rid of love?
No, but you know, innit, that you know, because you know, like when you see someone and you're sexually attracted to them,
Yeah.
when you wait, then like you want to know what it's like and everything, yeah. But when you get that out of the way, then you already know. You've already been there.
But you can still lust, have
Yeah,
lust
you can still,
after boning.
It could be
Nah.
dope. Could be some.
Yeah, and then you want to keep doing it.
But yeah,
And then
back-
just still continue
But
to
that's the one
lust.
about on the first night. Like,
It happens, guys. It happens.
It happens.
So do you think?
You guys are acting like you guys are acting like it never happens. Like
No, but it's what I'm
like
saying.
alien
That
concept.
person that approaches that, sex on the first night, probably ain't the person I'm going to get in a relationship with.
No,
Do you understand?
No, I'm not.
So that kind of shows me who you are. So that filters out those kind of people.
Not me. What do you mean who you are?
Really though?
Not
Really though?
Not really, because I see it as you can sleep with someone the first night and have the longest lasting relationship ever.
You could, but chances are it's not gonna be.
Wait. Or you could wait 2-3 months, that 90-day rule. Like,
Who said they're 90 days?
No.
It's just another example. It's just another example.
It's an example.
I didn't know this.
Or you could wait 90 days thinking that it's going to last and it doesn't.
Yeah. It's
Like-
why
Or you could wait and the sex could be
Why does it have to be a negative thing
I
though?
don't think that's sex.
Yeah.
Why does it have to be a negative thing? That happens in the first night. Why does it have to be a negative thing though?
All I was talking
If you-
about
if
is
you-
in the
if
past.
you-
Bro, do you know my surname?
If you're feeling each other, look.
Do you know my surname? I just met you. Do you know my surname? Why are we humping?
I thought you were actually asking me. I was like,
Brian.
No, but I'm just saying, yeah, like sometimes you have that connection. When you feel it, you feel it. You can't stop
So
yourself.
you couldn't wait till tomorrow?
If you want to wait till tomorrow, then that's a different story.
But if
But
you
what I'm
wait till
saying,
tomorrow, is that going to make the relationship last?
that's what I'm saying.
No, but I might talk to you on the phone a little bit more. I realise I don't like you.
So what is it you
No,
need
it's
to know
different.
about
Maybe
someone
it's
before you have sex then? Because I feel like you're getting into a list. I feel like you're getting into a list.
No, it's not necessarily a list, but like obviously, I'm not saying you have to have sex on this day. We have to have sex on that day.
When you're
what I'm saying to you
connection-
is, I'm just saying more times than not, I'm usually put off from someone if that's what's put on the cards first day.
Okay, but what if it's not put on the cards? What if it's not put on the cards, but it just happens?
That's what I'm saying. But that's what
Chances
I'm saying.
are it's not just gonna happen because I can hold myself.
But that's you.
You can't
But that's
just say
you.
no.
But that's you. That's a
But
different
everyone
story.
can hold
That's you.
themselves.
Everyone can.
No,
You
but
can.
people are different.
You can hold yourself.
Everyone can, yeah. But it comes to do they want to? Yeah, because like in straight relationships, there's a thing where you say, okay, if you have sex, protection, getting pregnant, and all of these things. But with lesbian relationship, the sex is different. So I think lesbians feel like it's safer for them to have sex, or it's not a big deal for them to have sex. Like it's not really a massive deal. So they have sex on the first night.
Too many times I find that people misconstrue lust for love. How people usually describe me, they'll describe me as, oh, she's sexy. Yeah, she's hot. Those are all words that describe a sexual side of it, because you're lusting after me. You ain't trying to find the beauty in me. You ain't trying to find those things because you've seen the exterior. And people get so caught up in what people look like and the physical side of it that you think you're in love with someone. And it's not. No. It's not that it has to be, this, and this. But there are a few things, like, ultimately, your personal hygiene. Tiny little things, like, I'm going to be watching you. Like, when you go to the toilet, do they hear the tap? Because
Okay,
those
and you heard the tap.
those hands are things that...
And you heard the tap.
Yeah, you had the tap. Yeah, you
The
had the
point is, there are certain
No,
things
but-
I can talk to you. Listen, just because I look at you and you look hot and you look, everything's on point, right? I could talk to you over the phone for 10 minutes and realise, nah, not going to happen. So I'd like to spend a little bit more time getting to know somebody before I'm going to realise when I'm going to open up my legs for them. Sorry.
No, I'm not saying that every little person that you meet, you just have to go and sleep with them the first day. But I'm just saying, if it so happens to happen, then is it a massive deal?
Spirituality is a real thing, bro. You could be a real demon out here.
So you met someone, yeah?
Yeah.
And then you just connected on a
Man, one second, demon.
Yeah, like what? Who is this person? All of my stories, I have had crazy dates with people that are really unwell, and that's not their fault. And I'm not judging, but what I'm saying is, some people for 6 months they can play a different person, and they can then suddenly just become someone else. Like, you know what? You know, everyone's got their best face on. The first day you meet them, they've got their best face on. It might be that I'm like here, like, oh, all right. Let me give you an example.
Okay.
How many times? There's been so many times I'll be talking to someone, I'm thinking, oh my god, this person's so cool. Talking to my friend, I'm like, yo. They're like, I'm like, what? Then they tell me one mad story about this person. But what I've seen for however long I've been talking to them is not the case. And it doesn't necessarily mean that one story is going to change my whole mind on that person.
Okay,
To
so
just
now-
But it depends what someone tells me. Like, I remember as someone telling me, oh yeah, that person, when they broke up with their ex, they broke in their house and stole their children's Christmas presents. That's a deep thing to me. That is a goodbye.
But
get
see,
me?
But I get you, but these are such extreme cases. Like all of us reacted like because it doesn't happen.
See, when it comes to listening to what people say though, when it comes to listening to what people say, I am gonna try and deal with you on the level that I met you, because how you was with that person ain't necessarily how you're gonna be with me, and that was then. This is I'm trying not to, because if people want to.
No, I disagree.
I'm trying. No, it depends. Like you told me that person's a murderer, then obviously we're gonna have problems.
No, but I feel like how people treat people. Like at the end of the day, I think it's kind of naive to assume that if someone's done something that's really quite cruel and horrible to someone, to think, oh, but that's them, that's not me. I feel like what you do, like how I react to someone, like is just based on kind of my own integrity and my own belief system. Like if someone does something to me and I respond in a certain type of way, it doesn't mean that I'm gonna like start punching them up just because or doing something mad to them. If someone tells me something crazy like that, I'm like, well, I'm not gonna then think that if I was in the same situation with you, you would do that because I would roll up that anger in you. That's a bit naive.
Yeah, but also taking advice or things from other people, there's other agendas that come into play. There's other agendas.
I'm talking about your friends though. I'm talking about your friends who's got your. I'm talking about your friend. I don't know about everyone's friendship, but my friendships, like the way I see my friendships, like we're down for each other. We're here to look out for each other.
So ultimately, you would stop. You wouldn't even take something that your friend said with a pinch of salt.
Depends what they say.
So it depends on what they say.
Yeah. If they were like, oh, that person, I used to know them, they slept around a little bit, I might put that down to be that person being young. If they said something like, I've seen that person and I saw them punching up their partner, then that's a different conversation. That's an entirely different conversation. And that's the kind of conversation I need to know before anyone's sliding into my beautiful vagina.
No, but the thing is though, bare times you wouldn't even know of that stuff. And like you don't find that stuff out until like years and stuff later.
Yeah.
How long are we talking?
No, but I'm not talking about being a criminal and stealing Christmas presents and shit like that. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about, you know, when you meet someone, when you meet someone and then they goes, oh, okay, leave first night, let's say second night, the second day, let's say second day, but the same week, and then like you end up going to theirs for like dinner or something, So you're telling me, look, but if you connect to each other and it's about to happen, you're gonna be like, oh wait, but you might be a murderer though.
You're talking about moving fast, I feel like, I've known you 48 hours and you're in my crotch, fam. I'm not being funny, that's just not gonna happen.
So
it's just straight up.
But it's not a planned thing. I'm not saying it's a planned thing.
I've got to do this, I've got to take my clothes off.
I've
got to take my clothes off.
Sex is spontaneous. That's what I'm saying. Listen, bear with the big words. Listen to me, You could go to a club, meet a girl could chirp you.
Why do you have to go home with them? You didn't.
My God.
She could go to her yard.
Finish.
Yeah, you said,
Let me finish.
we can make Instagram meet tomorrow, babe.
Paint the picture.
You can go to a club, you meet a girl, she chirps you, you know, you're drinking, having a good time, and she's like,
knickers fall off at that
listen, she's like, bruh, let me drop you home. You're like, okay, cool, thanks.
There's the mistake right there.
Listen, and then she's like, right. You're like,
wanna come in for a coffee?
Yeah, do you wanna come in for a coffee? She knows. Why do you know that? She can say to you, I wanna go to the toilet, you know. And like, okay, but come up for 5 minutes and come.
Okay, clearly both of them want to have sex. It's obvious though. Both of them in this story want to have sex.
What happens?
They do though.
It could happen. But for them to feel like intoxicated, you like her, she likes her.
And she drove me home.
You jumped in the Uber, you could kiss and then boom. It's a touch of the back.
I'm not gonna lie, I don't even kiss people. I'm not even into kissing, so I ain't even kissing no one.
It's an example.
All I'm saying is,
happen.
I ain't trying to get my body count that high. So I'm very cautious as to who I want to be sleeping with and when I'm sleeping with people. I ain't trying to have people walk in the club and say, oh yeah, I fucked her.
Yeah, but for me, it's
because that's when people talk.
No, but I see it as you don't know someone until you know someone. And a lot of people will get into relationships thinking that's going to last forever, and then it's not until things start to go downhill, it's like where you start to realise, I actually didn't know you. Do you know what I mean? So the fact that you're like, oh, I don't know you before, I need to know you before we do anything is just a bit wild. Because like I said, you could think you know, but you know jack shit. And that's just because it's true.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but you need to be at a certain point, You can always be fooled by someone. There's things always come out. Yeah, but there has to be
point.
I'm sorry, you don't throw up your leg to people so easy.
No one's saying you have
else
to, but you're saying that there's a certain point. There can't be a certain point if you never know if you know someone.
Do you know what, for me?
But what's the point for you then? Because you keep talking.
How long do you wait for you not
point for
partner?
you?
How long do you wait?
What, for have sex?
Yeah, tell me.
Don't know.
9 days.
Is it?
90 days.
It depends on the person, but I'm not fucking you first night. Simple.
It depends.
I ain't fucking you second
You don't
night
put
either.
enough. You don't.
If you
don't
can
put
get
days
past,
there.
see my stink face. See if you can get past my face on 3 dates, yeah? Then maybe we'll talk about the kiss, innit? Yeah? If you can get past my stink face. No, serious. Because if you can get past those different stages of Nim,
And you guys are talking about being in relationships with people you don't know, like it's a normal thing. Like what? That's
But
not
you're
a
getting to
normal
know someone
thing.
then.
No, what do you mean? Why am I in a relationship with you if I don't know you?
How, Sway? How?
Okay,
What, do you have to be in a relationship to have sex?
You don't have to be in a relationship to have sex.
Yes,
no,
I'm not
but
talking
the
about
point
relationship,
I'm with the whole question is about why don't relationships last? And you guys are talking
So I
about
talk about one
you've
night
asked
stand.
about
What I
sex.
said-
You're not
I said,
talking about you don't know someone until you know them. Like nah, like before I'm gonna invest emotionally, spiritually with someone, I need to know who the fuck you
I'm
are.
sorry, my sex is good. I'm not giving that to everybody.
Anyway, yeah, back to my
That's fine.
point. So back to my point in regards to the question. It was about, when I was a little bit younger, I did into relationships. I didn't know the person very well. This time, at this age that I am now, I want it to be at least 6 months. And if I feel like we're in the same wavelength, we're the same thing for each
Before you
other.
have sex?
Well, if the sex happens within those 6 months, it happens. But in regards to it becoming a
relationship.
6 months.
a concrete relationship,
That's a long time.
around that time.
So you saying 6 months of dating before you make it
Yeah,
official?
before official, yes.
Oh,
okay.
I mean, before I didn't do that.
So then it's like an
Literally,
unofficial.
I jumped into a relationship. We just jumped
Okay,
into
but what
something.
is this unofficial
Yes, that's
dating
weird
though?
as well.
Are you saying that you allow us to chat? Is it
No, you have sex with other
exclusive? Is it
people.
exclusive? Is my question.
Yeah.
It depends on the
Is it-
girl.
it's a
and
yes or
depends
no?
on- for me, I personally would want it to be official, like where
Okay.
we can't talk to anyone
Yeah,
else.
that makes sense.
But if she said to me, I want to keep my options open, cool. But at least we're getting to know each other to see.
By 6 months though. By 6
Before you're
months.
getting to know them,
She can bounce.
She can be
6 months.
She could
Now
talk.
you're saying people about.
6
That's
months.
what
I'd rather her be honest. I'd have people behind my back
No. 6
talk
months.
to me and other people. So I'd rather her. If she's gonna say to me right to my face, I'm to other people as well. I respect that, and I will talk to her because she's been honest. I don't like that sly stuff where they go, I'm only chatting to you, and there's someone here and there's someone there on a slide. Do you understand? I don't like that
But
stuff.
there being someone there and someone there, and that they're talking to, and them being someone there that they're fucking is a different thing, isn't it? Really?
No, that's what I'm saying. When it comes to fucking, that can't run. Do you understand?
Okay.
So either we're not fucking or we're fucking just me and you. Do you understand?
Okay,
If it's just talking, it's just talking, isn't it? Do you
Oh,
understand?
okay.
Alright then, so question to you. So do you feel like waiting 6 months would make your relationship last?
I've never done it before, like I said to you. But moving forward from what I've done in the past, I feel it would. If we're meant to be together,
Yeah.
we've been talking for 6 months. I've got to know you inside and out. I've met your family. I've met your friends. I know what kind of food you like. I know what makes you upset. I know what makes you happy. I feel within those 6 months, I feel we've got a foundation to build. Do you understand? I think it would be more.
I just don't think there should be a time
I
scale.
think
I
you're
just don't
going
think
with
there should be a
that.
time scale.
No,
What I'm saying is,
not,
when it happens, it
I'm not
happens.
time scale. I'm saying, for example, it could be
Yeah.
6 months. It could be 3 months. I'm just saying I'm not gonna jump into a relationship just like that, like I did in the past.
Yeah.
Because that's this. You're right. It's mad. How can you just get into a relationship with someone you don't even know? Do you understand? You're right. That's what I'm saying. I
I was
won't
talking
do
about
that ever
sex,
again.
but
6
Relationship and sexual relations are two different things.
exactly.
6 months is like the day I know it's going to be something serious. We can develop a serious relationship, talk about future plans. Obviously, we've done it already anyway, but I know this is something long term. Because I've been with a few girls. I think this is mainly one girl who she was together, but she didn't see a feature with another female. She saw her feature with a man. So, and I didn't quite get why we was actually together. I think for some girls it's just fun. They want to explore a girl. They're straight. They want to, they don't see it as a serious thing. And a lot of girls still say it to me as well. I'll have sex with a girl, but nothing too serious. Yeah, not a relationship thing. They see it as a joke. Do you understand? That having kids with a girl is a no-no. Getting married to a girl is a no-no. And for me, that's one of the reasons why I think it doesn't really work out on the LGBT scene, because they don't take it seriously.
But it's only the other day you were allowed to get married and everything there. So, like, I think that all of these things, I think these factors fall into why people perceive that our relationships don't work.
Yeah,
Do you know what I mean? I think, like,
they haven't been given the chance for long to prove
they haven't had that
to prove
long
it.
to say,
And
alright,
they've
well,
been
look,
stigmatized. And they've been stigmatized.
As
They're
being
not serious.
over-promiscuous,
Girls
being
are greedy. Oh, because she couldn't find a man. Now she's.
Now she's
Do you know what I
going
mean?
for
There's a lot of stigma around it, and there's a lot of like people trying to prove stuff as well. That's a big problem.
Yeah, although I don't think that the issues with relationships right now are exclusive to LGBT people.
100%.
I mean, you can just look at the marriage rates in general, just between among straight people. We know it's not. We know all the straight people are just messing up with their relationships. So that's not the case. But especially when it comes to like gay guys, I see that we just have to look back to how they was like life growing up. Like you're going through a whole bunch of shit. You're looking at the world is hating you, and you're wanting acceptance. So then you're going and you're trying to find all these different things, and then you get inside the scene. You get inside to an age where you begin to experience the stereotypes firsthand, and then you might even start to feel like you need to become a part of that. And most of the things that people say is stuff like this question: oh, it doesn't work. They just want sex. They just want this. They're not serious. So then you start to embody that. You're not going to really get into a relationship, and it's not going to last if you're looking at the other person as if they don't want anything serious as well. Because then you're just going to react off that. So most of the time, people are going inside these relationships and they're just like, you know what? I might as well just fuck up anyway. I might as well just do something because I know they're not serious.
The way society perceives you.
But it's also society perceives us differently. I've got a neighbour, and maybe 2 months ago, she knocked on my door. She knocked on my door and she was like, oh, can I come in? And I'm like, what do you want? Wait, chatting. She's like, oh, so my boyfriend's going away, and you know, like
she was so pissed.
Finish it. She's like, so, like he doesn't like to eat my pussy, so like I kind of thinking maybe you can help me find a girl. Shut that shit right down, because in your head, all you got in your head is that we walk around looking funnies, and that's all we do.
No, but guys,
and so she comes to me.
That is true.
Our relationships are not failing because of other people's perceptions. It's because of our own, though.
Perception.
Exactly.
It doesn't even matter what anybody else is thinking, or they think, oh, that we're just gonna be good for one thing.
It doesn't help when
It doesn't matter. It doesn't need to help. It doesn't matter though. It's how we're seeing each other. Like I'm seeing, like you see black people all the time talking to each other, say, oh, I ain't getting into business with another black person because black people are always late. Black people are whatless. They can't do this. It's just like, no, how we're seeing each other is the issue. It's not about outsiders. We can't be looking at straight people and thinking the way they're looking at us is gonna affect my relationship. No, because if I'm with someone and then we're happy, I don't care. I don't give two fucks what anybody else says.
And what are the conversations that are happening in the community? Are the conversations, oh, you know what, you've been with this person for a long time. Have you guys planned about what you're going to do for the future? You know, do you guys know what you want to do? How are you building each other? How are you emotionally supporting each other? Are you guys doing counselling if you're related? I've noticed there's a lack of resilience. There's like, it's like, oh yeah, we start dating each other, it don't quite work out, and I'm finding out onto the next one that's pretty.
Yes.
And I think there's a lack of resilience in the community. There's a lack of like, understanding of what a relationship really is. It's all about lust, and it's kind of about, you know, maybe putting up with things that you naturally don't think are right, but you've internalized so much of this crap that you've seen that you then think, actually, this is my standard, this is okay. And it's about understanding who you really are before you even get into a partnership with someone else. Support, it's about, you know, and I think if you have a support,
and accepting it on myself, I'll accept on myself. I too do that. Like I have a lack of resilience that I would like to work on. But there people don't accept on that. They accept that shit.
Two lesbian engagement parties last year, and I just thought, you see, this to me is amazing, because like you lot are taking this to the next level. This ain't so easy for you to just break up now and go about your way, go about your business. Do you understand? This is proper stuff, but this is what I'm surrounding myself with.
But you don't really hear much about that side of things, about the relationships that do last.
But what I do hear is about people who've got stepchildren and their relationship was here and now they've got this person, and I hear a lot of mess. It's a lot of messy stuff, and it's like not even, it's like I was with this girl for a few months and then she was pregnant when I met her, and now I'm raising this baby, but now I've got a new, it's a lot of like, it's a lot of big, and I think if you don't have a support system, like you don't actually have family that are supporting you or real friends that are supporting you and actually developing you and helping you to grow, you don't identify that how you can support someone else. I think that's the biggest problem. They don't see how you can have that support.
I think the support
developing.
As well.
It's important to
I agree
see
with that.
healthy relationships around you. I don't see healthy.
But as adults today, I don't think any kind of support group is gonna just like magically happen
No, it
around
isn't.
us. So we have to try to think of other ways in which that's gonna.
If you look at slightly older people in the community, they've got their shit together. They've been with their partners for years. They've been doing this stuff. So I don't know. When I see a couple that are out there doing their thing, I look at that and I want that. That's what I'm striving for. That's what I want. That's what I'm going for.
But we want what looks good. We don't know what the down days, the dark days. When I was,
but everything comes with a good and bad. And it's a relationship.
But I don't think people see that.
They
I
don't.
think people
That's
see the
perception of
pretty
it.
thing.
Yeah.
They don't realize that these people have cried together, have nearly broke up, have walked out on each other. Like there's a real story. There's a real history. There's a real pain there usually. And I don't think people see that. They go, oh, they look happy. I'm not happy. I'm out. I'm off.
Yeah. So like, if I have this moment where I'm sitting down and it's just like, I don't know what to say, I end up thinking like, okay, that means this is all not going to work. This is terrible. We need to call this a wrap. All right, let me duck.
That's down to, I guess, like things like social media. So, like for example, you see people doing up couple goals because you see them doing up holidays and vacations and this and that and matching trainers and matching this and do you know what I mean? And people see that as that's what I want. But then what's not being posted on social media and stuff is when they're arguing, when they're falling out, the fact that one part is actually cheated. Do you know what I mean? And there's been tears and there's been, do you know what I mean? I think it's only the positives that are shown, and for that reason, that's what everyone kind of.
But that happened before social media. You had people like beating up their partners and people hiding it. It happened, but it's a culture that we have that happened before social media. Even there's people that will be like, oh, I've never asked my mum this question because it's not my place. I think there's a general thing in society where we hide the things that are not pretty and the things that we're not that proud of, and it's becoming okay now, I guess, to even talk about mental health, but it's only becoming a thing now. So we've got a lot of work to do, and it's going to take time.
And I also think I might have covered it earlier on, but I think it also comes down to respect. I feel like a lot of studs, sometimes they go a bit OTT with their masculine role. And I've got a few people I do know that.
Can we quote this masculine role, please?
Masculine role, studs.
No, I find the studs, but the masculine role.
Yeah.
Let's put that in.
And what you mentioned about abuse and stuff like that, I just feel like it's very disrespectful. Do you understand? And
but that's not masculine.
Yeah, people are aspiring to this idea of masculinity. That's not it.
That's one thing, or trying to be dominating or trying to be control the relationship. I just feel like that can break down a relationship, and I feel like some studs, they want to be men, so they'll go a bit overboard with it and they'll think hitting my woman is controlling my woman. Do you understand?
Right, to slightly change. Let's try and go back to the original question. If it's saying that why doesn't this happen? What could we do to make these relationships last longer? Or like what is it? What solutions are there?
A lot of the things that we were saying, like it all comes down to society. But at the end of the day, we are the society.
I think it's
and change starts from us.
I think it's down to self-control.
Control of what?
I just think self-control. I just think when people let emotions run too much too quickly, right? It's like you said. Everything happens too
I
fast.
also do think that controlling your emotions and stifling them is an issue as well.
You can control other things. You can control other things.
You can be more balanced though. You can just be more balanced. Like for instance, we're talking about people having sex too soon. It could be that you hold off and you ask different questions. It could be that you try to find out what they're interested in and try to do things together.
If you realise the last 3 things didn't work out, and you realise you went, actually, I had sex with them like within the first week of knowing them, try something else. Maybe the next one
Why is it getting directly?
You were the one that mentioned it.
You know what I mean? I said that as like, I was talking in general, not about myself. Yeah, I was talking in general, but all I was saying is that it happens.
Right.
When I said it, you guys were like, what? Like straight away, like it's an alien thing, like it never happens, and you guys were like horrible.
So do you guys think that LGBT relationships last? Yes or no?
I think it's like any other relationship.
I I think it's a mixture. I think they're doing it the same way
As a
straight
relationship,
yeah,
exactly.
do and don't. But I think the stuff that you hear about relationships within the LGBT community is kind of like.
Can I ask where you hear them from?
People like from like friends and people like just in general like social media, people you know. You hear through the grapevine.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean? There's always a story of someone's relationship where, oh my god, did you hear that so and so brought down their girlfriend and this that. It's like there's always someone's relationship that's talking the town. Do you know what I mean?
And it's also our response to that. Like, oh, did you hear that person brought down that person? Oh yeah, did she get beat up? It's never like, oh, is that person actually okay?
EastEnders.
Do you know?
Do you know what I mean? But it's
Yeah.
always like, oh yeah, haha, that happened. Oh yeah, she really did
think,
that. Like,
I think straight relationship and lesbian relationship, they all have LGBT relationships. They all have the same problems. Like all the issues are the same, but because LGBT is a thing.
I think because the community is so small, it seems like it's happening a lot of the time. And I think that it's in your peripheral a lot more. Because before I came out, my friends, there's people out there that things weren't working out for them either. Yeah, I know a girl, lovely girl, but she could not find a man to save her life because it just was not. Just like it doesn't work out for other people. So I think it's a little bit harsh to say that it doesn't work out for us.
I think because straight relationships, like kids come into play a lot more, that's when the relationships tend to drag out
Point.
because
Fair
there's
point.
something
Yes.
tying them together.
Fair point.